Hi guys, how are you all doing? This is the Tennis World with the Tennis Expert. I am your tennis expert. I'm here to review the final of the Olympics. Quickly, the bronze medal. Mercedes was too good for Aliassime, too consistent, too big on the forehand, too much defense. Aliassime, too many errors. But anyway, the gold medal match was Djokovic versus Carlos Alcaraz, and Djokovic has won in straight sets. I actually said it would be straight sets for Alcaraz, and two reasons was one, Alcaraz has won the French Open and Wimbledon, two Grand Slams. Two, Djokovic has not even won a tournament and even looked good this year. And thirdly, this would be Djokovic's worst surface and Alcaraz's best surface, right? So what happened in this match that was different than what I would expect was Djokovic actually played like his best level, almost back to peak Djokovic, right? Um, but what I'm going to say is, or at least last year when Djokovic won three Grand Slams and made the final in the fourth Grand Slam, right? He at least did that level, maybe back his peak, maybe 2015, 2016. Djokovic attacked the second serve of Alcaraz on the back line. His rally shots were very deep. His speed looked like he'd gotten over the knee surgery. It was back to where it was younger. He served well. He did it. He did everything well. And if you remember, like some of these matches against Nadal, like let's just say go back to 2013 French Open semifinals, Nadal, Djokovic. That was when Djokovic like pushed a healthy Nadal to the limit, had him down 4-2 in the fifth set. I say Djokovic repeated that level. Like that match and this match were his two best clay court events. But I mean, still he was playing at that level. But Alcaraz was playing his best up to 5-all. So it looked like that 2013 match with Alcaraz taking Nadal's place and Djokovic doing what he did back then. But then the problem was after that, after the 5-all, Alcaraz didn't do what Nadal did was on clay. Like he's in and out of concentration, and I feel like he's got the speed like a Nadal or a Djokovic when they're younger, and he's faster than Djokovic at this age. So he should be making the long rallies, wear him out, use his speed to turn defense to offense. Also, Alcaraz has the same advantage Nadal have on clay, like the big forehand to get past Djokovic's defense and finish points, whereas Djokovic doesn't have that big weapon to get past him. And then the top spin, and I just felt like it was there for him. But even at Djokovic's elite level, I feel like until 5-all, Alcaraz was that bit better. But then he acts like these big hitter power plays, or even Federer when he tried to play Nadal and Djokovic, he knew he wasn't as good in the long rallies as them. So he had to go for it, take risk, go for the line to avoid the long rallies and make it about the attacking game. But Alcaraz has got as much speed as Nadal and Djokovic at their prime, and Djokovic is not at his prime, right? So I don't really understand why he just decided he was going to go for a lot of power near the lines and risk making errors because Djokovic is older. You shorten the points. You don't want that. You want to like use your the fact that you're faster than him and you want to tire out the older guy. But instead, Alcaraz is going for the lines, taking risks, and then when you go for so much power near the line, it's hard to control those balls. And yes, sometimes you can hit a whole lot of winners and other times errors. And that's, I think, what causes Alcaraz to be in and out. He's not got that Nadal Djokovic rally game, like consistency where it's like aggressive but consistent. You move the guy left and right till you finish the point. He's more like going like Federer, like going for too much. But Federer doesn't have the speed as Nadal or Djokovic, but Alcaraz does. So Alcaraz doesn't have any reason to do this. So it just came down to Djokovic rallying and doing that at a very elite level, while Alcaraz going for the lines and sometimes looking great and other times not. But Djokovic was consistently there the whole time at that elite level, whereas Alcaraz was there sometimes and not others. I felt like when they were both at their best, Alcaraz was a bit better than Djokovic's best, but he kept it going the whole time. And some big differences in the like if you compare it to the Wimbledon final, like Alcaraz served better than Djokovic, had an amazing serving game. And then the thing where Djokovic attacks guys' second serve and hits the back line and goes after it, Alcaraz outdid Djokovic in that in the Wimbledon final. He attacked Djokovic's second serve much more than Djokovic attacked his. He outserved Djokovic, but in this match, Alcaraz missed so many first serves in the big moments and gave Djokovic so many second serves, served nothing like he did at Wimbledon. But then Djokovic, on the other hand, he now served his best. As far as attacking the second serve return, that Alcaraz did that in Wimbledon so well, he didn't do that at all here. And now Djokovic was doing it. So then now instead of most of the points, Alcaraz starting ahead and being in a good position to attack, it's now Djokovic. And then Djokovic is attacking deep, going into the backhand and rushing him under the forehand, and then controlling a lot of rallies. But again, to match that level, Alcaraz needs to beat his best level too. And there were times that he did and times that he didn't. But I would say, like, still the match, even though Alcaraz was in and out and Djokovic was at his best level, it was still 7-6, 7-6. So Alcaraz could have easily won this match while being in and out, while Djokovic is at his best level all the time by just doing a bit better in the key points in the tie breaks. But unfortunately, Alcaraz actually played his worst in the tie breaks. And I think part of it was like the guy is younger. He's like I noticed like when he was nervous at the French Open last year against Djokovic, he came back at Wimbledon and won it. And it was like he had been in that situation. He gained experience. He's a fast learner. He was better next time. But you saw him this year at Wimbledon. He said, I've been in the Grand Slam finals before for 3 or 4 times. I've been in the Wimbledon final. It's just another day at the office. Like he was like a Nadal or Djokovic, like going into that. That's what I would say about Carlos Alcaraz. He was finally there. He's just like another match, another day at the office, Wimbledon final this year. But the Olympics, he's never been there before, and he was 17 last time. So I just think the nerves did get to him. That's why he was at his worst in the tie breaks, because he's now got to the point where he won't be nervous at Grand Slams anymore. He won't be nervous at Masters of Thousands. He was before. He got over it, and now he was ready to just play without nerves and be at his best in those key matches, right? But now something else came up that he's never seen, because the Olympics is every 4 years. And last time it happened, he was 17. And even Djokovic suffered with nerves every single time and was never at his best in the Olympics. And it was only the 5th Olympics he finally got over that. This is Alcaraz's first. So I think part of it was nerves. The other part of it is no one's ever won Wimbledon, French Open, and Wimbledon, the Olympics back to back. Because think about it, you got to win 7 best-of-5 set matches at the French Open. Then there's 3 weeks before Wimbledon, and you got to spend time practicing getting used to grass because it's totally different. Then you have to win 7 best-of-5 sets on a grass court, which is totally different. And then you have to physically do it again. Then 2 weeks after that, you got the Olympics. And then right at the end of the Olympics, when you also play doubles, you're your most exhausted. And then to keep that highest level of intensity where an Alcaraz Djokovic matches are pushing to the limit, you're actually mentally and physically exhausted by that point. That's why I like to go French Open, Wimbledon, Olympics, and then the end, you're the most exhausted. You get Djokovic at his best. So I think he was mentally and physically tired, but also his first Olympics playing for gold against Djokovic, I think he was nervous too. That's why his game dropped off in the tiebreak. But I definitely think like you got the French Open, then you got Wimbledon 3 weeks later on a different surface, and then 2 weeks after achieving that double, you got to be the Olympics, and then the end of it, you got this very intense match with him and Djokovic, and I think like Alcaraz, every time he beat Djokovic, mostly he lost the first set and then improved from there. This time he went down. Alcaraz was much worse in the second set, right, guys? And I just think like he was worse because like the fatigue was there. he was getting in. And that's why even Djokovic in 2021, he won the French and Wimbledon and didn't finish it off here. I just think it's very hard to do that, to go for the French and Wimbledon. That double is hard enough, but then 2 weeks after to do this. So I think it was that, and I think the Olympics. But like, I think his way to play is right to not be going for the lines, not to rush, not to shorten points. What he did at Wimbledon, that was the ideal match, what you should be doing, right? You build points, you move the guy around right to left, but you do it in an aggressive point, yes, but you're willing to hit 3, 5, 7 shots to finish the point. And that is the way, that Nadal Djokovic style. But instead, he's got like a Nadal forehand and a Djokovic's backhand. So when you're doing that, you're unbeatable. And then you got the better volley and drop shots than even these guys. So you can even be better than Nadal and Djokovic, right? But then when you hit all these shots, you have all these shots and you hit more winners than them. But then you're going for the lines, you're also hitting more errors than them. You're not getting any of having all like a great forehand, backhand, and even more shots than Nadal and Djokovic. You're not getting anything of that, because yes, you're getting more winners than them, but then you're also getting more errors because you're playing more risky tennis. And he did hit more winners than Djokovic in this match, and he did hit more errors. So yeah, I just think like I just think what happened in this match was, it was like the fatigue, and it was like his first Olympics. Like, you got to give someone like one Olympics when they're younger to just say, like, I was nervous the first time, right? So I just think that's what happened. And I also think like to be physically and mentally there to win French Open, get used to the grass, do it again, and then the Olympics, and then the singles and doubles and the end of it. And Djokovic at his best level, like I just think like that intense level against Djokovic at the end of all this tennis, he wasn't physically and mentally there because he had played too much, and he definitely was nervous. And you could see the physical was like, why in the second set was he worse? And then the mental was the 2 tiebreakers that he dropped off. But like, I just felt like there were times up until 5-all where Djokovic was playing his best, and it wasn't enough because Alcaraz's best was a little bit better. But then when he was being in and out in the big moments and going for too much power near the line and giving Djokovic errors, then Djokovic's best level was enough. But then the fact that he was in and out and Djokovic was there all the time, if you look at the future, like the fact that he can say to Djokovic, like, I was hot and cold and you were on it the whole match. And I didn't even need to be consistently there the whole match, because like I was just a few points away from winning anyway. So he didn't even need to play his best to win, just to be a bit better in the few tiebreakers, even though Djokovic was at his 10 out of 10 level the whole match. Alcaraz didn't even need to do that. But then the worst moments were the tiebreakers. And I just think the big thing was Djokovic was able to build a point. Alcaraz was going for the lines, trying to shorten the point and being too overly aggressive. And those extra errors lost in the match. But again, it's the nerves and it's the fatigue for Alcaraz, I would say. And I would just say, like I'm saying, Djokovic's tactics were good. Djokovic's tactics were good, like attacking the second serve, hitting the ball deep on the back line at the feet, serving great, and then in the rallies going deep, rushing Alcaraz, not letting him have time on the forehand, going to the backhand and all of that. But then that was everything Djokovic could do, the best level. But I feel like when Alcaraz was at his best, he was just that little bit better, but he wasn't there all the time, and particularly wasn't there. And the main excuse is, I've seen Alcaraz, like if you look at the French Open final when Alcaraz beat Zverev, he was hot and cold, had just enough to win in a fifth set. But if you're just good enough to win in a fifth set, I feel like he repeated something like that against Djokovic. But just good enough to beat Zverev in a fifth set won't beat Djokovic at his best level when he's at his last chance to get gold. He's at the problem what's causing the problem for Alcaraz is again being way too risky, going for lines all the time, and then when you're hitting it that hard near the line, there's such a risk of an error. But the Wimbledon one was the prototype for what he needs to do. You be aggressive, but you move the guy around and you build a point. You don't go for the lines. And then if you have a forehand like Nadal and a backhand like Djokovic and then the net play and the drop shots, then you're not saying I have all these talented shots to get me more winners, but I'm also getting more errors. No, you're building the point. You just have more winners, but you don't have the more errors. So, but I feel like Alcaraz has learned from his experiences and got better, and the next time he's been better, and now he's at a point where he's not nervous in Grand Slam finals, Masters 1000, but now he never faced the Olympics. So because this was the first time, he needed a learning experience here. And Djokovic benefited out of that. But then Djokovic did control everything that he needed to do on his side. He played his best level, and Alcaraz wasn't there. And Djokovic was at his best level with the right tactics in the tiebreaker, and Alcaraz was not. And that's just it. Like last time they played at Wimbledon, Djokovic was off, Alcaraz was on. This time Djokovic was on and Alcaraz was off. That's why you have a rivalry. That's why even Nadal and Djokovic is 30-29, because different days when you got great players playing, sometimes it's your day, sometimes it's not. But today, this was Djokovic's day, and he is your Olympic gold medal champion. And most Grand Slams, most Masters 1000, he's got Olympic gold, he's got all of this. I think like he has the best record, and probably he's only 2 Grand Slams and a few Masters 1000 ahead of Nadal. He's got much more than that by being healthy. Like probably he's had a 5 Grand Slam advantage over Nadal by being healthy. But anyway, like we can't do it based on it. Statistically, he's got the best record of all time, and it's going to be hard. I don't think Nadal will have a chance to surpass him now. But I really think the real GOAT debate now is going to be between Djokovic and Alcaraz. I definitely think Alcaraz is going to get more than 24 slams, and he's going to get more Masters of Thousands. The time of number one is going to be hard, but he might do that. He'll definitely win the Olympic. He'll definitely win the Olympic gold, I would say, Alcaraz. So I really think he's coming for Djokovic's records, and for now, Djokovic has it. But I really think that I really just think that, and what I'm saying is, like, you have losses, you have wins. We can't lose faith in Alcaraz, because he has, if you look at his career, he's still better than where no one else has achieved this much at 21. So everybody's had losses. Federer didn't even have any Grand Slams at all at this age. Nadal had just had 3 at the French Open, all on one surface. Djokovic had 1. So despite the loss, if you look at everybody else, all the great players they've all had disappointments, but he's had more highlights than anyone else at this age. So I think we should understand, like, the guy is still young, and this was his first Olympics, and just like when he choked at the French Open with the cramps, he came back and beat Djokovic at Wimbledon. But now he had this first experience of the Olympic Games, which he needed to learn from. But I think for Alcaraz, he's going full steam ahead, and he's breaking all the records. And this was just the fact that it was his first Olympics. And like everything else, he's learned from, and he was better the next time. So, but overall, he's still achieved more than anyone his age. So if he keeps that up, when he ends his career, then he would have achieved the most in a full career. So he just needs to keep going the way he's going. But learning experience for him, hot and cold, and the big moments, too many errors. Djokovic doing the right tactics, serving at the best level, returning deep, rallying defense, offense, move him around, few errors, deep on the ground strokes. He did everything right. Alcaraz didn't. And Djokovic takes it. Djokovic is your 2024 Olympic champion and gold medalist. Carlos Alcaraz is your silver medalist. and Lorenzo Massetti of Italy is your bronze medalist. So bronze for Italy, silver for Spain, gold for Serbia. That's my video for today. I might not be able to do the tournament in Canada, but I should at least be back for Cincinnati. I might do a video of Canada. But in the US Open, I'm going to preview before the tournament. I'm going to preview the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and I'm going to preview the final. So really in-depth coverage before the US Open, before the quarterfinals, before the semifinal, before the final. So please be back with me for the US Open, and I'll do a video or two at Cincinnati. Toronto, I don't know yet, but just please, if I'm not there, wait for me at Cincinnati, right? So yeah, but I'm really just give me guys, give me a few weeks for Cincinnati and be back, but then be ready for real in-depth coverage at the US Open. I would just, I think Alcaraz is fatigued. I think he'll take a break. I think he'll come back. I think he's won the last two. I mean, like, reality is he's won the last two Grand Slams. I think a slow hard court is his best court. I think he's the favorite to win it. I would pick him. I would pick Sinner as second favorite, and I'd pick Djokovic as third favorite. But again, I feel like what they're going to do with the draw is they're going to put Alcaraz and Sinner on the same side of the draw and give Djokovic an easy path through the final. But then they did that at Wimbledon, and it didn't. It got him to the final, yes, but it didn't work for him winning. But yeah, I would say Alcaraz, then Sinner, depending on his health, then Alcaraz, then Djokovic is your third favorite for the US Open. I really think we're at a state now where there are only three guys that can win Grand Slams or big tournaments, even Masters of 1,000. But for sure, Grand Slams. Alcaraz, Sinner, and Djokovic. No one else has a chance. But that's where I think we are at this point of tennis right now. But yeah, guys, subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Be back for Cincinnati. Small chance for Canada, but really in-depth coverage coming up for the US Open. So be back for that. Subscribe, bell notification, thumbs up. Have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world, and subscribe. And please be back in 2 to 3 weeks for my next videos. Subscribe, guys, and thanks for being with me. And please wait for me 2 or 3 weeks. Subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys 2, 3 weeks, Cincinnati at the latest. Subscribe, and thanks for being with me, and bye for now.